Well, hello there, everybody. It's Region Weather Meteorologist Matt Wentz. It's Sunday evening. As we always like to do on Sunday evenings, we want to get together and discuss what the work week has in store, not for you in terms of what's going to be on your office desk, but in terms of the weather. And boy, it's been quiet, but there's still quite a bit to talk about because we've got not just this wildfire smoke that has been the big buzz once again across the Great Lakes. We'll discuss kind of what that's coming from, where it's going, how long we'll have to deal with it. It's had some poor air quality results in areas pretty close to us. I mean, near Gary, areas of Lake County have seen some air quality issues, especially up towards Chicago and Wisconsin. So we'll discuss that a little bit. We need rain. We know that. We got a little bit of rain with that little shower and thunderstorm chance about a week ago, but we could use some more, right? And we're also going to talk about this, not just the drought, but we're going to talk about the forecast over the next 10 days. So what we're going to do, we're going to run our open as always. We'll introduce everyone that's with us here. We've got a nice little family going here tonight. We'll get through our sponsors, and then we'll get your forecast going here on the Sunday evening edition. Good to be back with you, everybody. It's Region Weather Live. And welcome in, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you had a nice weekend. It feels like summer outside. I mean, it feels like we're in it. It really does. And I remember just a month and a half ago, we were like, where is it? And it's here. So I hope you guys are enjoying. Mary's with us tonight. Good evening to you, Mary. Jeff says we need the rain. Emilio, hi. Thanks for joining us there. Andrew's with us. Good evening to you. Carl says, great day today, but turned cool tonight. Yeah, that's product of the wind off the lake, Carl. Boy, it's been on and off all over the place in terms of where it's coming in. Kevin's with us tonight. Says, do you think the Miami Heat have a chance in the NBA Finals? Kevin, absolutely not. It's a score right now. Are they close? I don't see them showing the score. All right, they're up right now. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I've counted them out so far, and they have overcome everything. Jason's with us. Ann's with us. Jan had a busy yard weekend. Derek, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're not working tonight. Hope you have the night off. All right, let's jump into it. First and foremost, obviously, we have a family of sponsors. They are just wonderful family-owned businesses. I couldn't be more thankful for them. Not just for keeping all of this for free, but for just being wonderful supporters of Region Weather. So you see them there on your left. I'll zip through them real quick, but please, if you need any of these services, please go to them. I stand by them 100%. Like, they all have 5-star reviews, which is awesome. We'll start at the top. Lance's Lawn Care. Don't let that name fool you. All right, Lance and his team do not just do mowing of lawns. They can do that if that's what you need, but they also do landscape services. They've done a wonderful job for many of you in Northwest Indiana. So it's Lance's Lawn Care. You see the number there, 219-869-8474 if you need anything done lawn work-wise. Ewing Mechanical Service, that's a wonderful family-owned business in Northwest Indiana. They want me to know, or want you to know, for the month of June, they're doing a $70 AC tune-up and cleaning special, which is very much needed, especially because we've got hot weather in the forecast. They have $500 off a new Amana AC, $1,000 off AC furnace if you do that, and they'll beat any written estimate, which is awesome. So if you need anything done to your house, HVAC related, AC related, anything like that, Ewing Mechanical Service, ewingmech.com. We've got our favorite plumbers, Tiger Plumbing, serving Northwest Indiana since 1982. They will give Region Weather followers $30 off your next plumbing call. The estimate's free. They come out for free. So you're just saving $30, which is awesome. So just let them know. It's tigerplumbing.net. We've got PSA, which is our public service adjusters. Guys, these are just services to you, all right? None of this, I don't want you to think I'm trying to sell any of this. These are wonderful services that you have. If you ever need to tap into them, please use them. This is with claims on home insurance. If you have any problems whatsoever with your property, tree falls, someone gets hurt, whatever it is, they will step in and add everything that you're taking in terms of shouldering the load, and they'll do everything for the claims process from start to finish, and they'll act on behalf of the policy owner. They'll often get you more money than you would normally through your insurance company, but they'll handle all of it. They're kind of the middlemen for that, and they do a wonderful job. Nothing but 5-star reviews. It's publicserviceadjusting.com. Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valpo, our favorite car dealership. They have new summer specials going right now. And then finally, last but not least, our stjudehouse.org. It's our domestic violence nonprofit that works with us. They're doing wonderful, wonderful, wonderful work in the region. They have advocates that come out in the community. They've come out to Crown Point, Cedar Lake, East Chicago, Whiting, Hobart, Gary, Maryville, Griffith, and they'll meet survivors wherever it's safe and convenient for the survivor of domestic violence. They'll meet at coffee shops, library, churches. They offer support by asking, what do you need, rather than these are the services we offer you. If you know anyone that's going through anything like that, I know it's tough to get away. It's a real tough situation. stjudehouse.org is the place to go. They're doing great work in the region. Okay. So thank you for letting me get through those. Let's get to your forecasts here. What you're looking at right here is satellite. We've seen this before. This down here is clouds. Those are the thunderstorms that are developing in western Illinois, now back towards Iowa. What you're looking at here, you notice how it's kind of murky looking? That's the atmospheric smoke from wildfires burning in Ontario. Remember, about a week and a half ago, we were dealing with wildfire smoke from fires in Western Canada, and it was coming all the way here. It was way lofted in the atmosphere. These fires are a little bit closer. Ontario, just right up here. Our satellite doesn't cover it, so I would have zoomed out if that's the case, but it's right up here. Because the fires are closer, that smoke is lower in the atmosphere. It's kind of rising and becoming lofted. So at times today, I don't know if you stepped outside, but you were able to smell it. And we've had air quality issues in Chicago, Gary as well. So this isn't good smoke, all right? Sometimes you don't have to deal with it when it's way up in the atmosphere, but this is in the low levels of the atmosphere and trying to get to the upper levels. So this is going to be a problem, all right? And where does it go from here? Here's where the fires are. This is the smoke product that we get, and you can see what happens. We've got a northeast wind that's blowing this in. Typically this time of year, we wouldn't have a northeast wind. We would have a south wind or a west wind, right? But we have had this steady diet of northeast wind with the weather pattern we've been stuck in. And so we have to deal with this. And so here's all the smoke, and watch what happens. It's around today. It kind of moves out tonight. Tomorrow it'll move out just a little bit, and then it comes back in here. And notice how we get a pretty good concentration of atmospheric smoke in Michigan tomorrow night, and then Tuesday it comes in here, and it could get kind of thick. So what do you look for? What does this look like? Well, the blue sky it's not blue. It's kind of that murky, milky white. It's going to look hazy outside here at the surface. Again, we already went through this today, and that's going to happen tomorrow in a little bit, but then tomorrow night and Tuesday, I think a lot. We'll have some real good haze around here, and it just kind of gets stuck in place. Wednesday, more of the same. And it doesn't really clear out because we keep this northeast wind going at least through the weekend. So you see, we're going to be dealing with this. I said a couple weeks ago on Region Weather Live, I said, I really think we're going to be dealing with atmospheric smoke from wildfires in Canada all summer long, on and off. We had the Western fires. Now we have these. It's not going to be a good summer in terms of blue sky every single day. A lot of people don't notice that, so it's not a huge deal, but it's air quality is a big deal. And when it starts to mess with our air quality, that's not fun for anybody, because you can't go out and exercise, stuff like that. Tom says, yeah, and you guys are noticing. And Tom says irritated his eyes. Emilio says it smelled like a huge bonfire. That's exactly what it smells like, for sure. And Andrew, I like your comment. Someone needs to tell these clouds are going the wrong way. Get with the program. That's right. Yeah, and Jan's having problems between the smoke and the cottonwood. Oh, Jan, I feel you. The cottonwood, we've had cottonwood blizzards at spots. I've seen some of the video. It's crazy. But anyway, I think it improves tomorrow. Again, that wildfire smoke improves a little bit tomorrow, but then it gets worse again tomorrow night into Tuesday. And tomorrow's not good by any means, but it's better than what we're dealing with. All right, let's talk drought now. I think this is the main concern of all of us that have gardens, hanging baskets. A lot of farmers in Northwest Indiana as well. This is a problem, right? We've been dry. And this is kind of what it looks like over the last 30 days in terms of deficit. Anything in blue and green, that's where we have a surplus of moisture. Obviously, we were in a deficit here. We had that real good rain with the thunderstorms last week. in spots, but not everyone saw that. So in general, over the last 30 days, we're anywhere from 1 to 3 inches below average. All right, that's a big deal. Let me show you 60 days because this looks worse. This is where we start to get into our groundwater, where it begins to affect wells and stuff like that. This is over 60 days. So this goes back into the month of April. And you notice numbers are a lot worse. We're anywhere from 3 to 6 inches below average. We had a surplus at the beginning of the year. It was a wet early spring. It was a wet end to the winter. I remember we couldn't buy a dry day around here, but things have changed, and it's not just us, it's widespread. So it's not a localized problem. This is all over Missouri, back towards areas of Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, and Wisconsin as well. And again, this droughts, we don't know how long they're going to last, right? That's a problem with the drought. We just know it's been dry. Could this continue all summer? It certainly could. Will it? I don't think so. Because I do see a change in the weather pattern. So let's get to that. In terms of the drought monitor, this is what it looks like. This comes out on Thursday, so this was updated on Thursday. But the yellow is abnormally dry, and we do have portions near the region, mainly just west of here, back towards Chicago, that are under moderate drought, all right, which is an actual drought category. The S and the SL that you see over the state of Indiana, that's for short-term or long-term drought. And there are some long-term implications for our farmers down in Remington, down towards Lafayette, Indianapolis. We really need some rain, all right? We need it pretty well. And you can see, not looking pretty to our west either. That's where you get into the moderate drought and even extreme drought as you get into areas in Missouri. So what's up with this? What's going on with this pattern? Well, we've had this steady diet of high pressure out of Canada, and the pattern has just been blocked for multiple reasons. Right now, everything's blocked because there's a low pressure out towards Boston. That's just going to spin and spin and spin for 3 or 4 days. So nothing's moving. Everything's kind of retrograding. It's stuck in place. And that pattern has continued on for really the last couple of weeks with a couple exceptions. What we need, or what we typically get into this time of year, is a pattern where we don't have a wind out of the north or the east. It's a pattern where everything's flowing from west to east. And sometimes we tap into that Gulf of Mexico moisture and we get humidity and we have thunderstorms every single day. And we don't have that in the near term, but there is a system to watch that the models are pretty impressed with bringing some showers here. And this is near term. This has probably changed from the forecast you've been seeing on your phone. So let me take you through this here. Tomorrow, again, we're dry, not a bad day. We'll have increasing clouds as this weak boundary comes through. It's not going to produce rain tomorrow. You see the models picking up maybe some moisture. That's not the case. But that will kind of reinforce the northeast wind once again. But watch what happens on Tuesday. Monday night and Tuesday morning, the herd develops a pretty good area of rain. This would be more than something that would just evaporate right away. This could soak into our ground and help a little bit. It'd be brief, if anything. But this is with a frontal boundary. It's going to kind of renew our cool air later on this week. But this is Tuesday morning through Tuesday midday with some lingering showers back and behind it. So there's a chance of rain then. The problem is the Euro is not picking up on this. So this is where we're going to take it long-term in the forecast. Here's the Euro Tuesday during the day. It has most of the rain to the west. It barely has a shower over the region. So how does this pan out on Tuesday? Well, we're going to have some scattered rain around, but I wouldn't count on a lot, all right? Because we do have dry air in place. A lot of times the models are picking up on, the models are all made up of algorithms, huge computer algorithms or mathematical algorithms. They have different things in them. A lot of them have ground moisture in it, and they're assuming that we have moisture in our ground, and we really don't have a lot. So there's not a lot of evapotranspiration going where normally there is a spring. So models can depict a more rainy scenario than we actually have just because of that. The drought can kind of mess models up a little bit. So that being said, I think the Euro has a good handle where we'll have a couple showers around. There's that, but I wouldn't count on a lot of rain. Again, that's Tuesday. So when do we get rain next? Well, we get this dry air mass in from the north again. Wednesday looks great. Thursday looks great. I mean, it really is nice weather. We're going to have low humidity. We're going to have comfortable temperatures. I mean, it really is a beautiful week. But, you know, the longer we have these beautiful weeks and no rain, like then we start to not really enjoy the weather because things are dried out and it's like the Dust Bowl outside. So our next chance of rain comes this weekend. The models have been consistent in this. It brings a frontal boundary through Saturday night and a Sunday. So that's our next chance of rain is Saturday night and then again into Sunday, depending on the timing of this. There's not a lot of moisture with this system. You can see how it's coming in from Canada. There's no real connection with the Gulf of Mexico. But the good news is this time of year, we don't need that direct connection because there's moisture everywhere because it's summer. It's going to be summertime soon. late spring. We'll keep it at that. So there'll probably be on radar Saturday some showers and thunderstorms up in Wisconsin. That's great news. And then what we'll do is watch that sag south Saturday night into Sunday. Our best case scenario would be for this system to either speed up and pass Saturday afternoon or to slow down and pass Sunday during the day. We don't really want it passing Saturday night because that means we've lost daytime heating and there's not maximum amount of uplift with this. So that means we don't get as much rain Saturday night as we would Sunday during the day or Saturday during the day. But we'll keep an eye on the timing. As of right now, it looks to be Saturday night with some rain, though. That moves by. But what happens is after this, everything starts moving again finally. That system out the East Coast will finally start moving. This front is allowed to come in because that system leaves. And then we'll get a more active pattern around here, which we haven't had. So you notice quickly on the heels of that, 3 days later, we have another frontal boundary that may start tapping into some Gulf of Mexico moisture. And now we're starting to talk thunderstorm chances. So that's the good news. That's the silver lining here in the forecast, is that we're finally going to get things moving again as we get on into next weekend. And then eventually the following week, which would be the week of the 12th through whatever that is, 18th. So hopefully that will be the end of this pattern, which has been very dry for the Great Lakes. We're very lucky to get that rain that we got, last week. But overall, I do think we end this. I think mid-June looks rainier around here. I think this pattern's very odd. I think 15 years in meteorology now, and I really don't remember a long stretch like this with a northeast wind. And the other thing that's odd about it is all the moisture's out west. They're getting a ton of rain. And it's not monsoon season really yet in the western U.S., and they're getting a ton of rain in the mountains. It's great for them. Their wildfire danger is going to be a lot lower this year than it has, last 10 years. But that's where all the rain is. So it's not like no one's getting rain. It's usually west versus east, and the west seems to be getting it all. All right. So that's it. So go ahead and ask your questions. If you have anything you want to know weather-wise, I'd be happy to answer that, as we always do here on Sunday night. And larger than that, I just want to thank you guys for joining me. I know it's beautiful outside, and you guys chose to join me to talk weather, which I love. So thank you for just taking time out of your schedule tonight to do that. All right. Tom asks a really good question. Tom, this is a great question. Does the smoke reduce the UV index? Tom, it actually does, because the smoke acts just like a cloud. It's particles that dust attaches to, right? There's smoke particles in there as well. And what that will do is help. I mean, that's what a cloud is. A cloud is often made up of dust particles with the water droplets, and it acts as a filter to that sun. So it does reduce the UV index. Not a lot. It has to be thick, but Tuesday and the Wednesday, it'll probably reduce it, I would guess, by 1 or 2 points, which is a big deal. Same way that high clouds would as well. So great question for that. Oh, Emilio says, I'm praying my salsa garden. It all comes out good. I hope so too, Emilio. That sounds really good, buddy. I will take some of that homemade salsa. I am a big fan for salsa. It's good stuff. Maxwell says, it seems like the whole month of May we had an east wind. Very unusual. Can't remember last time we had a southwest wind. But the weather's been nice. Yeah, Maxwell, absolutely. Yeah, that's what we were just kind of talking about. It's been a northeast or east wind, which is usually the rarest of the winds, and that certainly hasn't been the case. But yeah, and I've gotten this rabbit hole of meteorological data on this website I go to. You can look up anything you possibly want. You just have to think of it and find it. I'm just going to keep this short, but you can look up the dew point for any given amount of time and see how it ranks in history. And to keep the long story short, this was the third driest in terms of no humidity. So we'll just say it this way: the third least humid May 1st through now in 100 years. So if you notice, it has not been humid outside. We really haven't had those thick days where the AC's running all night, we're sweating all day. It's because of this east wind and this northeast wind that's been so consistent. But it's been a really, really nice spring because of that. But problem is we haven't had any rain. So there's that. Great comment, though. Ann, you're absolutely welcome. Susan says, any more 90-degree days for June? I think so, Susan. By the end of next week, it looks like we heat up again. There's not a huge signal for warmth, but we do get a really nice, comfortable week this week. And then it does look like as we get into the next week, and this would be as we bring more moisture, we'll have some humidity with it, those shower and thunderstorm chances finally. I think we'll have some heat with that too. So I could see us popping a 90-degree day later next week. And then the end of June is always hot as we get into the 4th of July. So I would imagine we'll have more 90-degree days. Yeah, Maxwell says, do you think we'll have some storms on Tuesday? We could, Maxwell. Yeah, I mean, there's some instability with it. The thing with this system coming in on Tuesday is that we have cold air aloft, which is also rare for this time of year. And that in and of itself, with some daytime heating, can easily puff up clouds to 40, 50,000 feet. So there is a thunderstorm chance there. And to your point, maybe this is what you're getting at is, if we have thunderstorms, that means we can have efficient rainfall producers. So we could certainly see that. I think it'll be more the exception rather than the rule, but we could certainly have some thunderstorms around here Tuesday. Better chance is going to be that weekend though with the front, and then next week as well. We'll have a lot more. We'll have a lot more in terms of instability around here. Well, let's see, Andrew, your question about a 9-year-old's fascinated but terrified by weather. Yeah, Andrew, I do weather school visits all the time. I did them more when my schedule allowed to do that. Right now I do evenings Monday through Friday, and I'm filling in today. That's why I'm at work. So it doesn't allow it because I don't get to work till 2 or 3. So I don't usually do school visits in the morning and make it a 15-hour day, whereas I used to do them all the time. But anyway, that's awesome. First of all, that he's obsessed with weather. That's how I was when I was little. In terms of being terrified by it, though, I preach that. And you've probably heard me say this before because you've been with us for a while, Andrew. Like doctors, for example, we know different parts of our body, right? We know where our heart is, our head, our nose, all that stuff. If he's scared about tornadoes or something like that, meteorologists know the different parts of a thunderstorm. So there's nothing random or scary about it. As long as you're plugged in, we would be able to tell if it's tornadoes that he's scared with. We'd be able to tell the part of the thunderstorm that's going to produce a tornado. We could tell where it's at. In terms of lightning, I can't help you there because I'm terrified of lightning. My wife makes fun of me. I will not go outside. I will not touch metal. I will not use the restroom if it's lightning. I respect it. So I can't help there. But with the other stuff, Andrew, that's it's all been figured out by meteorologists and science in general, right? You just have to have someone that's decent at predicting it. I think it's amazing what Mother Nature provides. What I'll do, and I don't know how much of a weather junkie you are, but with my kids, I've taught them to love the weather, and they ask me when a storm's coming in, Daddy, can we check the radar? I'm like, yes. And so we'll look at the radar and see where the wind is in the thunderstorm. We'll be able to tell what parts of the storm. And I know we all can't do that, but you could get a radar in their hands and make them feel like they're in control. Like what's going to happen next, and ask them and teach them how to read a radar and stuff like that. So there's that, but I get that. And that's a very popular thing is that a lot of kids are frightened by the weather because they see shows like on the Weather Channel and other programs, like Twister, movies like that are just so over the top with all the extremes that of course you'd be scared by it when they're showing houses getting ripped apart and stuff like that. But that is such a rare thing for one spot on the map, aka where you live, that's not a big thing to worry about. I hope that answered your question. Sorry, it took 10 minutes. Carl says, does the smoke affect the chance of rain? Carl, the only way the smoke affects the chance of rain, great question, by the way, is if we're relying on daytime heating for storms to bubble up, all right? That smoke layer can, if it's thick enough, can keep our temperature down a degree or two. And that would prevent, the big daytime heating, big robust thunderstorms. That's not going to be the case. So no, this smoke is not going to affect our thunderstorm chances at all or anything like that. Mike, that's okay. I won't make you go back through and watch it. He said, missed most of the show. Do we have a chance of rain coming up? We do. We have a chance of rain Monday night and the Tuesday morning. We could get a little bit of rain out of a frontal boundary dropping south. And then a better chance is going to be in the weekend with this system here. Did the Heat just win? Can someone tell me if the Heat won? I've got it on my TV here. It's commercial, though. Anyway, so it's going to be with this system right here, which comes in Saturday, Sunday. So, Mike, long story short, there's a system out east in Boston right now that is just swirling. It's going to be awful for them in New England. Just rain in 50s and 60s all week, most of the week. But anyway, that's stuck. And so because that's stuck, everything else is stuck. That system finally moves out on Friday. And so it allows everything to finally, after 2.5 weeks of this, start moving from west to east again. And so that allows this front to sag south. So we're looking at some rain Saturday night into Sunday. Ideally, we'd have it pass either Saturday during the day or Sunday during the day so we can get prime heating. Looks to be Saturday night right now, but the timing could change on this. But that's our storm chance. But as everything's moving again, finally, we'll bring in another storm chance right on the heels of that a couple days later. And these will be with frontal boundaries. And then hopefully another one 3 days after that. So I think we'll get out of this. That's the good news. Yeah. Cindy says, or they watch Reed Timber. You got to get your clicks somehow. I want to know, is this the only weather program that we're not dramatic? I hope you don't sense drama from me ever, even during tornado warning stuff like that. I mean, we could probably switch it up and be real dramatic and have monster trucks and explosions and fires and stuff like that. We'd probably get a lot more clicks, but I can't think of weather programs that are calm. Andrew, that's sweet. I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Andrew, I appreciate that. Tell him hi if he's still watching, and then get to bed. Maxwell says, could the rain have smoke in it? Maxwell, it could. Yeah. The rain would actually clear the particles out of the atmosphere, and that happens all the time when we have pollution or something like that. The rain is a cleansing mechanism. It will bring some of the particles down to the surface. Nothing you'd really notice, but yeah, it certainly could for sure. Cindy says no. Yeah, Susan, in terms of thoughts on the tropical system in the Gulf already, they get real name heavy with this kind of stuff. And I don't want to get political on you. There were a lot of systems last couple of years, not a lot, but there were one or two that I don't know why they got a name. I really don't. You don't remember them. You go back through the names, you're like, where was that? And it was like out by Spain somewhere. And I felt like the system last week going into the Carolinas was real close to being named. Like maybe they should have. Again, I don't work for the Hurricane Center, so I'm not going to, that's their job. That's their lane. But this one, I felt like that maybe that one should have been. And then this one, I felt like maybe shouldn't have been. So it's interesting. Again, tropical season started. There's going to be some weird names out there for systems that are like, really, that's tropical. But overall, I think they do a good job in terms of naming these. And again, that's how I feel about that. I don't want to get too far into that. Dot, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. Okay. Well, I think that's it, everybody. Thank you for spending your Sunday evening with me. It was nice to have a real fast internet connection on a Sunday night. So there's that. So again, just in recap, we'll have some wildfire smoke around here. It's going to thicken up again. The haze, you're going to smell bonfire, as some of you pointed out, tomorrow night. And these are from wildfires in southern Canada. So they're pretty close to us, relatively speaking. So some of that smoke's still low level here at the surface. So there are some air quality issues that are going to go through next couple days, probably. And then we search for our chance of rain Tuesday morning. Hopefully we'll have some rain on radar moving through, to be brief, but hopefully we can get some out of that. Comfortable week after that, just beautiful conditions, low humidity, sunshine, and then we watch for rain next weekend. And trust me, I will be on rain watch this week along with you guys. We'll pass along information as always, okay? All right, hope you had a nice weekend. We'll talk to you soon.